Daguerre.
Who's asking?
I am.
Yeah? And who are you? I ain't Daguerre, alright? You got the wrong guy.
I don't think so.
You know what I think?
I don't care.
I think you should die!
Always the same.
Hello and welcome to How to Be a Great GM presents the Training Grounds. My name is Guy and tonight we're going to be meeting a new GM and players as the GM takes us through another exciting adventure in the hopes of scoring well on the score sheet or improving an existing score. What am I talking about? Well, each of the GMs that are participating in Training Grounds have been given a predefined scenario that they will be required to run through the players tonight. The players are randomly drawn from those who volunteered to play in the game, as well as myself. And after 90 minutes of playing in the GM's world, the players and myself will get to score the GM based on certain criterion. The criterion I'm talking about is this. This is the scorecard that the GM will be aiming to try and hit the marks on. Now, bear in mind, the GM does not want to get the highest mark because that gives them no room for improvement or for betterment. This is not a competition about who is the best GM. This is a competition about oneself and improving on one's own abilities. Now, you can see we've got various categories there. We've got the rules. How are they applied? Are they applied correctly or at least appropriately? There's story categories. What's the tone or the pacing like? There are NPCs, critical elements of the game, of course. There's style, and then, of course, table management itself. So what will happen is each of the players and myself will give the GM a score out of 5, meaning that there will be a total of 25 points that they can score per item. And at the end of it, I will present the scorecard back to the GM and to you, the viewers, and take them through some of the salient points, areas that can be worked upon and improved upon for the following week. Of course, if this is the second week that they're participating, we will have that score sheet from last week. We will have a look at it and see where they should be aiming to improve. Now, at home, of course, you are watching this. You have that wonderful ability of not being completely ensconced within the game, not trying to play the game. So think kindly when you are judging these individuals and look at the scores and see how they would apply to yourself. At least that's part of the plan. But enough from me. Let's get on with the show and let's meet tonight's GM. Hello and welcome to another Training Grounds episode. My name is Guy and I'm joined by some amazing players this evening, some of whom I have already had the privilege of playing with, and I have to say I am particularly keen to get to play with them again. Why? Well, because they're pretty awesome role players, and I hope that you would all agree. We've also got some new faces in the channel, and tonight starts a new GM's journey as they come to show us just what they've got. And just to remind all of you folks that you are more than welcome to pass comments and share your ideas in chat with regards to the GM's technique or the player's choices. Just remember that we're here to learn, so if you do disagree with what the GM or the players have done, just simply state, oh, I disagree with the GM doing that. I would do it this way, and this is why I think it would work better or perhaps worse. We're here to learn from each other, not to criticize each other. So that is the only rule, I think, really, that is to be worried about too much in chat. We do have our lovely moderators running around as well. If you have questions about the show or where you can catch reviews and things, they will be happy to answer them. And there is a small section right at the end of the show, it's a 2-hour stream, right at the end, where you can ask questions directly to the GM or to the players. So be prepared if you have any questions to ask them then. Okay, let's meet tonight's players and GM. Hello and welcome, everybody. Did I get it right in terms of the order? Yes, I did. Yay! Okay, good. Something's going to go wrong. I don't know what it is. Touch wood. Anyway. Right. We are joined this evening by Chris. Chris is playing the part of our GM tonight. Chris, hello and welcome to the show.
Hello. How you doing?
Good, thanks. And you?
Very nervous. We'll see.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Chris, you were sent a prompt last week. Can you tell us what that prompt was?
Yes, it is. A group of ents ask the PCs for help. Their Oakfather, leader, has been in McDraken, the dwarvish Thane's prison, for over a year now. Please, can the PCs free him?
All right, so that was the prompt. Whether that's what's going to happen or not, we don't know. The GMs are entirely at liberty to drive things how they like. The reason why I thought we should start the show with the prompt is so many of you ask for that prompt. And I thought, well, now that you know it, you can see where or what the GM is doing or not doing, as can the players to a degree. Anyway, we shall see whether that theory works or not. And yeah, so Chris, how did you get into GMing?
I've been playing D&D since like 1982, when I was introduced as a child. Whoops, am I gone?
No, you're good. You're good. 1982.
No, I'm good. Okay. Yep, played first edition, played second edition, third, 3.5, DM'd a lot in 3E and 3.5E. Took a break for 4E for children, and 5E came, and the children that I had wanted me to play D&D again. So they started, I've been DMing them through COVID. I have an online group that I started up, and I've been playing. We switch off, so I DM or GM and am a player. Like right now I'm in a player stretch, so I've had a little bit of a GM drought. I'm feeling it a little bit.
Okay, so raring to go.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, so let's just meet the rest of our wonderful players. Rebecca, welcome back. You were on a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, I was. Excited to be back.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you back. You're looking forward to playing Sasha?
Oh, yes.
Good. James has joined us to play Bracklaw. What are your plans for the diminutive 12-inch high Dragonborn?
Start stuff on fire. That's about it.
Did the GM mention something about ents? Yeah, okay, they burn well. Well, hopefully. Let's see. Caleb's joining us to take the part of Ishka. You asked to play Ishka, as a matter of fact. You said you quite like the idea of playing Ishka. What are your plans for the tiefling?
Ishka is part of a noble bloodline, so I just want to go make a bunch of people my peasants and just rule over them.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair. Yeah, I like that. And then Jilla joining the team playing Tajo. Have you had an opportunity to look over the cleric? You literally got the character sheet a bit.
I think I'll be playing a middle-aged recluse who has come maybe from all the way from the Oriental lens, and is a cleric of Lord Sri Rama.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Chris, you have your players, you have their characters, and all that remains is for me to say that the game is now yours. You have 90 minutes starting from the time now.
Okay. You are 5 different people from different realities or different places in the world, brought together to be agents of the Quirinal Concordance Zone. What that means is you are in a reality that may or may not be your own, and you have joined the Zone Authority. You're duly appointed representatives of the Zone Authority, and you're coming out on your first mission. Currently, you're flying across the zone to the Kirin Forest, where the Kirins have, where the ents of the Kirin Forest have called for help from the Zone Authority. As you're flying, you have with you a Warforged who is known as a Soul Forged here, and his name is Instructor of Recruits. And you have an Orc named Sergeant Killflare, who is your other instructor. And Instructor of Recruits begins. Recruits, welcome to your first mission. You have completed your training, you have performed your bonding activities, and now we are flying to the Kirin Forest on the border of the Dwarven Tortoise lands. Apparently there has been some sort of disagreement between the ents and the dwarves, and we don't understand exactly what is happening. So it is up to you to find out what's going on and put this fire out for us. So might be a little above your pay grade, but this is the exact kind of training that you received.
Excuse me, sir, if I might be so bold as to ask, what exactly fire are we putting out here? Are we talking a literal fire? Because I should point out that I burn quite easily, and so I was just wondering if there is any sort of protective equipment or something like that.
Sergeant Killflare goes, "Hoy, pitmate! That isn't for you to know. That's for you to find out. We don't know what's going on. We don't care what's going on. We just need you to get in there and find it out. That's your job, not ours."
And what are we going to get paid for this?
You get to keep your jobs, pitmate. That or we can kick you out of the zone. It's up to you. No matter to me. Do what you want. You are on a stipend. The reward for completing a term of service is citizenship in the zone, which can lead to lucrative contracts, there's a lot of money-making opportunities here since a different reality comes into the zone every day. You may or may not be in it for money.
Tajo mumbles to himself without letting anybody know. How did I end up here? And then nods to Sergeant Killflare.
Right. Any other questions from you guys?
Which side are we on particularly?
You're on the side of the zone authority, pitmate. The instructor goes, okay, Sergeant Killflare, back off, please. So what we've done is we have loaded your identahedrons, which are your communication devices, with two spells. Number one, we've loaded it with Featherfall, which you can use once.
I don't like the sounds of this.
Oh, yes, no problem. And the other one is Aid, which is going to give each of you 5 hit points, which is going to give each of you 5 hit points to your max hit points, and bumps your hit points 5 hit points right now. And then the instructor of recruit says, okay, we're starting to arrive here at the Kirin Forest. Are there any other questions that any of you might have?
How do we get back?
Instructor of recruits, yes, you simply message us with the identahedron. You get 1 message a day, and we'll come get you when it's time.
I have a question.
Yes.
What are the penalties if we lose?
The penalties? Oh, possibly death, possibly eviction, failure in our eyes. Those are things. Some of the dwarves are civilized folk and some are not. Some of the ents are civilized folk and some are not. It is up to you.
Aye.
And then Sergeant Killflare says, okay, well, that's what we hired you to do. It's time for you to do your job. And he goes like this, chonk, and pulls a lever, ejecting the entire party off of the skyship. And you're flying through the air above the Kirin Forest.
Who has the identahedron?
Where is it? Oh.
Sasha will very calmly activate her own Featherfall and then look at everyone else like, really?
As you're falling 1,000 feet in the air, you see in front of you, to one side is the Kirin Forest. It's a beautiful forest that is regulated by the Kirins, obviously, with tree ent and lots of woodland sprites. Across from it, you see a few miles, maybe 5 or 10 miles away from that, across a plain, which looks like it's had a lot of activity on it, the Tortoise, which is a dwarven city on rails that travels back and forth from the pit. It goes there when it's safe. It goes away when it's not safe. You can see a couple of hours walking away, there it is, the prison of the Thanes of McDraken. And you're falling towards the edge of the Karen pit. As you're getting closer, I'd like some perception rolls, please.
I wonder.
Natural 20 for 21.
Nice. Who was that?
Breckler.
Bracklore. Okay.
I got a 10.
Okay.
13 for Sasha.
Bracklore notices as he's falling, and he's falling slower than everyone because he's tiny. He sees that along the edges of the forest, there are areas of darkness. There are areas of, looks like maybe canker. It's like, he would say that it's a canker since he's a wizard and he probably knows a little more about these kinds of things. Some sort of infection happening on the side of the forest as you're descending.
Right. Breckler makes note of that as he engages his wings and just kind of flies down, waiting for everybody else to activate their feather fall.
Okay. You guys are slowly descending, and as you're coming to the ground, you land at the edge of the Kirin Forest. You're landing in a fairly wide field. The forest is there behind you, and you can see the prison, and it's a flat plain. This part of the world where you're at, and straight across that plain, you can see the tortoise on its rails just chugging along slowly. You can feel the thrum of it through the ground from where you're at. The forest behind you is a pine forest. It's got the typical Fey sounds of melodies and of you could feel in your bones that it's an enchanted forest. But you also see just parts of the forest where things aren't right.
Right, well, listen, I think we should avoid those parts there. I don't know what that is. Looks like some kind of disease. Maybe that's why the ants are all up and about. Maybe the city has brought some infection along and they've taken it against the dwarves themselves, eh?
Mm-hmm. You definitely smell... who would I like? Give me a investigation check as a group.
Okay. 22.
17.
Nice.
1.
We'll go with the 22. You smell, and this is Binson. Binson, being a gnome, you smell definite hints of rotting fungus coming from the forest, coming especially from the areas where there's like a canker in the ground. You hear skittering sounds coming from in the forest.
Well, it certainly smells like that's a rotten place to go, unless you're particularly fond of fungi.
Yes.
Does anyone know how to contact an ent exactly? I suppose we should ask them first what their opinion is.
We can always try shouting.
I don't speak Entish. Does anyone here speak Entish? I mean, what language do they speak? Fey?
That's something we should have asked about before we left the ship.
Yeah,
but that
probably.
sergeant, though, you know, he kind of talks at you. It's really...
Must be bad at that.
Can we use this identihedrons, maybe?
Oh.
Do these devices work?
The devices work by, you can communicate with someone that you've met before, and you've activated the hedron with them. Bing! And you did that with Sergeant Killflare and with Instructor of Recruits. As you're sitting there, I need a perception check from you guys.
I will certainly say this. Ishka and Sasha, I wouldn't show those axes too widely whilst you're engaging with ents. I mean, that would be... I don't know about the politics or the ethics of it, but it might send the wrong message, don't you think?
Well, violence is always the answer.
Have you ever met an ent?
Nope.
They can step on you.
Then I'll step on them back. That'll show him.
Give me a perception roll, please, from everybody.
out of 10.
Sasha.
13.
12 for Brackler.
15.
Okay. I'm rolling dice. Okay. I'm going to need an initiative roll, please.
Oh.
Oh,
12 for Benson.
19. What, Taju?
19 for Taja.
Sasha.
A 20 for Brackler.
14 for Sasha. A 20
And,
for Bracklor. And what was the last one?
A
I've got
7 for Ishka.
7. Ishka, you get to go last. All right. What's happening here is that, hold on 1 second. Let me get these in. As you're standing there, you hear scuttling coming from the forest. And what happens is you see something starts running towards you, but it is underneath the level of the grass that you're in. The grass that you're in is like up to your mid-thigh, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see 5 things arrowing in towards you underneath the grass. You didn't make your perception check to be able to see what it is. As that is happening, a hail of, you see a creature emerge from the forest. It is covered in pine needles. It's the size of a normal mortal, and it goes, it doesn't speak. It just extends out its hands and throws needles at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tajo is the lucky person. A barrage of needles flies out towards Tajo. Tajo, does a 20 hit you?
Of course it does. Taju looks at the thing with a frown on his face, and does it look like an ent? Or did you know? Is this?
It is a human, mortal-sized wooden creature that has just come out of the forest. So it is not. Do you have nature skill? Do you want to give that?
Yeah, sure. 20.
20. It is too small to be an ent. An ent is the size of a full-grown tree. This thing is not just human size. Also, you have 8 damage.
Oh. All right. Tajo goes like, kill this thing, and he falls down unconscious.
Are you including the 5 temporary hit points you got from aid?
No, all right. He doesn't go unconscious, but he is barely surviving.
GM, just a quick question. When you say
Yes.
the grass is thigh high,
Correct.
to whom's thigh are you
Oh,
referring?
good.
Because-
Normal 5 to 6 foot human thigh high. So let's
What
call
just
that
happened? What just happened?
Two
I
and a
can't
half-
see
yes.
anything from this grass.
Absolutely. Is what I do need to know where Bracklor is. I need to know your positioning, please.
He was probably flying just above the group,
Okay.
so probably 10 feet up.
Bracklor alone, give me a perception check.
That's a +1, so that's a 16.
Okay. 16. You see what looks like smaller versions of the other the larger creature. You guys got a 20 before. It's a needle blight, is what you can determine. Okay. Tajo, where are you compared to the group? And you would be bleeding at this point. And where are you?
Yeah, I was hit bad, so I would be holding my warhammer with both hands, and I would be waiting for anything to emerge. I noticed that something was rushing towards us under the grass. So if something would come close to me, I would just hit that thing.
Okay, got
with
it.
my warhammer.
Sasha, where would you be in the ranks? Front, middle, back?
Front if we're going towards the forest.
Okay, noted. Bracklord, you are floating above. Ishka, where would you be?
Right next to Sasha, with my axe drawn.
Okay, and Benson, where would you be?
Hiding behind Ishka, I think is, or Sasha. Well, pretty much behind both of them because they're a bigger target.
Got it. Okay, I'll put you there. What we're doing right now is we're doing the first round of combat as you guys don't get an action because you didn't spot them. So what's happening is the rest of these little suckers start coming in on you in waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have enough speed to get up to where you're at. And what's going to happen is we're going to start with Tajo again.
Well, at least if you die, you'll smell nice. Fresh pine.
You'll
minty.
smell like pine needles. I apologize. Does a 21 hit?
Oh my goodness. Can I have your socks?
Yeah, I'm gonna take these bad dice or good dice and get some other dice. Okay, here we go.
So who hit me?
It is a twig blight hits you for 3 piercing damage.
Okay. Tajo starts chanting Hare Ram because he thinks he's gonna die. So yeah, are these pine cones still sticking out of his body?
Out of you? Yes. Yeah. You are. You're still like in the quote unquote surprise round where you haven't had a chance to react yet. Twig blight number 2, Sasha. Does a 12 hit you?
No.
All right. Twig blight number 3 on Sasha. Does an 11 hit you?
No.
Good. And now we've got Ishka with a 20. Does that hit you?
Worse.
Ishka, you take 3 piercing damage round about your thighs to mid-thigh, hopefully not anywhere higher than that. Okay. And then Ishka, here's another one. And a 5, I'm assuming does not hit you.
Does not.
Does not. Okay. What I'm going to do is we are to round 2. And you guys get to go. Unfortunately, these other guys had higher initiative scores than you. So, Tajo, I am going to try my unluckiest dice for you here. Let's see. Let's try this guy for you. Here, we'll try this guy. Does a 15 hit, Tajo?
No, it does not. This time, Tajo is very careful, and he ducks out of the way of the attack.
A slash comes right at you. It's coming towards your knee. It's coming up towards above your knee. It's coming, and then you dodge right out of the way as your good bits avoid the hit. Okay, here we go. Sasha, I'm going to roll twice for the 2 on you. A 10 and a 10. Ooh,
nope.
Very good. And Ishka, I've got a 17 and a 19.
Both hit.
Both hit. You get hit around about your thighs for 6 points of damage.
Ah! They hit my legs! Get them! Get them, Benson!
Get your legs? Why do I want your legs? I want your socks.
We have Bracklore.
Can I swoop down and get the 4 that are on our fighters with a cone of fire? 15-foot cone without hitting them?
You definitely. Let me see here. The angle that you've got, you can take 4 of them, or you can take all 5 and include Tajo in the cone.
I will avoid that. I will get the 4 though.
Very good.
So
I go with that.
hovers above like a magnificent ancient red dragon and breathes a gout of fire. They all need to make a dexterity DC of 10 or take some damage.
Okay.
Very good, Braglord. Very good.
So let's try this. That I have 2 that failed and 2 that made it. So
2 that
give me
fail
your
takes
damage.
6 fire damage. The ones that succeed take 3 fire damage.
Oh, it's for half?
Yeah, save for half.
Okay. Wow. All right. So these are twig blights. They are nice and crunchy. So they start crunching up. 2 of them are dead immediately. Whoops.
Nice.
2 of them are still alive, but blooded. If you know the lingo. The one in front of Tajo is unhurt. One of the ones in front of Sasha is almost dead, and one in front of Vincent is almost dead. And there are 2 little piles of ash going.
And Brackler's eyes just kind of light up with the glee of fire. And he says, "All right, protect the cleric." And I actually have to step away. I have a puppy dog emergency, so I will be right back.
All right.
I can hear you.
Okay. And I think that declares the end of his turn. We have Tajo.
Yeah, Tajo would first call upon his god to cure himself. So he would cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Yep.
Let me see how much he gets. So he has this thing. For the life domain, he gets 2 plus the spell's level. So 3 plus 7, 10 points back. So,
Do you have to roll, right?
yeah, I did roll.
Oh, good. Very good.
Yeah.
Then does that bring you all the way back up?
Yes.
Tajo feels. Go ahead.
Yeah, he calls upon his lord, and then the wounds kind of go away with magic, divine magic, healing him up, and then he holds his warhammer and gets ready to hit the thing on his turn next round.
Okay.
Right.
Next we have Sasha.
Okay, I'm gonna take a swipe at the one at my knees.
Okay.
21.
Tell me how you destroyed it.
I just take the greatsword and slice straight down the middle of it, just cleaving it in half.
You definitely bust this poor, burnt twig blight to death with your immense greatsword. Do you have a bonus action and a movement?
I
if you
will
want to
move
use
over towards Tajo to help him out next round.
Okay. Got it. And next we have the Needle Blight, who has not been touched. The Needle Blight, so impressed by your display of power, sends needles at Sasha. Does a 17 hit Sasha?
Nope.
Woo! That's a good armor class. Okay. It starts moving up. It's coming up to 1 movement behind the twig blights. Okay. We have Benson.
Have I seen this bigger one?
Yes, because you definitely saw. Oh wait, based on your height, I would say yes. You were like this. You're like a gnome, just in water up to their nose. So it's like you just look like this. This is
in which case, then he's going to.
There you go.
He's going to see that, and then he's just going to disappear into the grass. And imagining himself as this predatory tiger, he's going to try and sneak around the back of that big blight and then stab it.
The needle blight? Okay.
Yeah, if possible.
Yep. Give me a stealth check. please.
Oh, yeah. Roll the 17 plus 4, so 21 for stealth.
You are good. I believe that would be your rogue action, your uncanny action.
To move around? Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And then can I stab him?
Yes, you can.
Whispering in his mind, he's like, the tiger strikes when least expected, and I try and thrust the rapier into this blight's back.
Yeah, you have advantage on your roll.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, with advantage, that is a 19 to hit.
That definitely hits this poor needle blight. Give me, you get your damage, plus I believe you have sneak attack damage.
Yes. Have at you. Well, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
9 damage.
Yeah.
Blooded. It goes.
It wasn't me.
It turns around and looks right down at you. It's got its needles coming off of its skin, just starting to roll up on it, and starting to point at you.
Trust a pine cone. No one attacks our priest.
I need Ishka to go.
All right. Am I close enough to get to the Pine Blight with Benson?
Yes, you would take an attack of opportunity from. Wait. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yes, the last twig blight is, or the second to last twig blight is in front of you. So he would get an attack of opportunity on you.
All right. I will not get angry over plants. And I'm going to get my javelin and chuck it at the blight while it's turned around at Benson.
Okay, give it to me.
All right. Oh, no. A 5.
A 5.
What the hell was that?
The the javelin goes right by Benson's head. Swoosh. Benson definitely goes, "Hey, what the hell was that?" And then you got. Do you have another action that you would like to take? I think you got a bonus and a move if you want to use those.
Okay. I'll just try to get close to the twig blight that's near my feet, and then I'm gonna go call upon my tiefling heritage and go into a rage mode.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Here we go. We've got the twig blight on Tajo. It's seeing that the wounds on Tajo have closed up. It's very annoyed at you. 15. Does a 15 hit Tajo?
No. Tajo is very careful now.
And then on Ishka, does a 6 hit you?
Yeah. Wait, no, it
Six?
does not. No, it does not. Sorry.
If a 6 hits you, I would love to see that. Okay, here we go. So we have Bracklore, the the tiny inferno. It is time for you to go.
He will fly 20 feet towards the needle blight and cast Firebolt.
Okay.
And that is a natural 1 for a +5 to hit.
What is it with you people?
Ooh. Confirm your critical failure.
Oh.
How would you like me to do that? Just roll again?
If you roll a 1 again, you hit Benson.
So what are the odds of rolling 2 1s in a row? Because it just happened.
No!
No.
Seriously, it just happened. I don't.
Roll damage. Benson, tell me how you feel as Bracklore rolls the damage.
Abused. This is him channeling all of his rage for being smaller than me and not it's wingist.
The mini inferno has hit Benson for how much damage?
It was only 2.
Oh, good. Okay. It's just at this level, it still hurts.
Sorry, clipped ya. You're a pretty good shield there. Move to the side.
Okay, we have Tajo.
Yeah, so there was one right in front of me, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I just smashed my warhammer on top of it, like, die, you stupid twig.
Give me your
And
attack roll.
it's 200 attack. 19.
19 hits.
All right. 1 bludgeoning damage.
1.
Yeah.
One.
One punch.
1 hit point of bloody bludgeoning damage. Tajo needs help. Okay, here we go. We've got Sasha.
Okay, since I ran over to Tajo next time, I will take my greatsword and swipe at this one, kind of looking at him like, seriously?
For real, dude?
A 14 to hit.
That hits.
8 points of slashing damage.
8 points. You have done more than double its hit points in damage. So tell me what you did to it.
I just cleave it straight from the top again. Just straight.
Oh, very good. She's got a move that works. And
yeah. And then I'll go move to the needle blight to just try and terrify it.
there you go. Okay. Next up we have needle blight. Okay. Oh no. I'm sorry, Vincent.
I'm on fire. Don't touch me. You'll burn.
Here we go. Oh no. Does a 20 hit?
Yes, it does.
Oof. How bad is 8 damage for you?
Ow, I die. It goes dark. Tell my mother she can have my socks.
We've downed Vincent.
No, I'm
Here
all
we
right.
go.
He's still alive, technically.
Oh, is he?
Mathematically, he's still alive. No one needs to know that I swoon. It grows dark.
Vincent, it's your turn.
Stab! Ha ha! Fooled you, didn't I?
Was there anyone close enough to this other twig blight to?
Sasha moved to the twig blight.
Okay.
Sasha moved to the
Vincent, you've got advantage.
It was because of the
I
command
used the
performance.
flanking rolls.
That's
Yes.
what it was for. So that's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Excellent. And so then with the rapier flashing in the light, he deals 11 damage.
Nice. The thing goes and collapses into a pile of needles.
I warned you.
The who we got here? Ishka.
Should be just be one more.
There was
twig thing at my
one
feet,
blight
right?
in front of Tajo
On front of
that had-
Tajo.
that had 2 hit points that Tajo couldn't kill.
I am sick of these plants. I'm gonna whip out my great axe and go swipe at it.
Do it.
Much better. 15.
15. That's a hit. It is dead. It had 1 hit point. The field of battle settles. The twig blights have all fallen down. As you've been destroying them, you've noticed like weird spores and weird fungus inside of them. And as you're investigating them, you hear.
I'll reach down to help Vincent up and give him 3 lay on hands as I help Vincent to his feet.
Life is restored by my champion savior.
As you're standing there, you hear vast shaking coming from the forest. Shoom,
Uh-oh.
shoom, shoom.
We don't think we
You
can
see
negotiate.
You see the trees moving as the actual trees come out of the forest. And they say, "Are you the ones who have come? Did the zone authorities send you to us?"
I'll flash my badge. I'm assuming we have badges or some sort of identification.
Your identihedrons are your badges. So and it looks like a dice, like this, glowing. It says, from the mortal authorities, the meat authorities, are you here to see to our needs?
Oh, we're here to find out what's going on yet.
Tell me your names, meat things. I am Fur Shadow, and you are Bracklore, the
Bracklore
tiny
the Inferno.
Inferno. The Inferno. Bracklore, the fire moat Inferno.
I
And
am
you are?
Tajo Kubara, Mr. Fair Shadow.
Tajo Kubara, of the elves, I greet thee. And you,
Sasha Drogarin.
Sasha Drogarin, I greet thee. I am Fur Shadow of the Kirin Forest.
I nudge Ishka in the thigh.
Ah, yeah. I am Ishka Bloodslayer. You might have heard my family, because we come from hell. But you might as well call me Ishka Bark Picker to you.
He goes, Ishka Barkpicker, I recognize you by your name. Your family is known to us. As he's talking, more ents start coming out of the forest. It's like the entire forest is coming out towards you. Boom. Doom. And who is the last one here? The small one. The not so small one.
That's better. Vincent Tooley, at your service. Whatever that might be. Exactly. Now, just a quick question before we... You're not the one spreading all the fungus around, are you?
No. The fungus comes from across the plains. It comes from the lands of the small, hard ones. The small, hard meat things. Much like yourselves, less like us. Our Oak Father left a year ago to go to see the dwarves, to see what was coming across the plains to us. You have destroyed this canker for now, but it rises again and again, and it will come through the forest unless it's stopped. Will you do this thing for us?
Do what?
Return our Oak Father to us so that he can return balance to the forest. Find out what is causing these things to happen in our forest.
And you say it was the dwarves who started spreading it? The ones that live in the giant metal city that rolls around on train tracks?
Yes, it comes from there. And then he turns around and he goes, Ash Green, do you have the hard things that the meat mortals like?
You know, I just want to say, maybe there's a certain terminology that you people want to embrace. Unless you want us to call you kindling and housing. I mean, this whole meat bag thing, I understand it's technically correct.
Oh, I apologize. I see that you do not want these discs that the mortals like. We will keep them instead.
Just joking. I'll take those.
Yes, joking. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, the meat bags, they like these clonk things, right? It's like a purse of like, you could hear the coins just like tinkling inside of it. It says, it is customary to give these to the meat bags for services, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, no, you're not. And I will take those and be like, it's very much appreciated.
He says,
Taja looks at that guy and asks, do you have more of these?
They accumulate. We find them from time to time. This is what we have, and it is customary to give these
I'll share, don't worry.
You meatlings, correct? Anyway, return our Oak Father to us, and they start fading back into the forest.
Well, that was interesting.
Would you like a piggyback, Vincent, so you can see a bit better?
Yeah, who plants grass at this height? I mean, what's it good for? Nothing, except for hiding things. No, as much as I'd like it, it actually does give us some advantage. That blighty beastie may not have seen me coming, so that was an actual use as much as I hate it.
Sasha can tell from the weight of the bag that there's 200 gold pieces in there, and she can do with that knowledge whatever she wishes.
Hey. When this is all finished, we can divide this equally.
What do you guys want to do here?
Yeah, so it strikes me we obviously need to go to the dwarves on their rolling city, which does sound quite interesting. But unless the dwarves are very specifically trying to destroy the forest, it doesn't strike me as this is a malicious attack. It might be some sort of accidental thing or someone within the dwarvish city. Does anyone speak dwarvish?
Oh, dwarves are the worst. Like, they're absolutely terrible. And yes, I speak dwarvish.
And I do speak a little bit of Dwarvish as well.
Good. Give me a history check. Or, yeah, that'll work.
Everyone, or just the dwarven speakers?
Dwarven speakers.
8.
Oh.
9.
Everyone, or just the dwarven speakers?
You can roll it too, wizard. Wizard, you can roll it too.
+4, so that is a 19.
19. Okay, so the tortoise has, you noticed, or you remember, as you were flying in, that the prison, which is separate from the tortoise, was only an hour or 2 walk away. As you were falling, you saw it over there across the plain.
And the prison doesn't move, is that correct?
Correct. The prison is just a solitary prison, and the tortoise city moves around like on the side of it. They don't keep the prison in the city.
Right, well, I think it's pretty straightforward. We just go for the prison, get that oak father, and he probably has all the information they could need. So we just get that, get paid, and get out of here, because I don't want to be here anymore. As much as I like burning things, sorry, Vincent, but, it's just...
Yes.
But hey, you got to stab, so yeah, I think we should go.
To the
I
prison.
agree.
All right. Are
Let's
we
go
going
then.
to walk up to the doors and just say, hi, you've got an ent in there and we want to, let him go? Or are we
We
going
do have some authority, right? They gave us these little guys.
That's true. All right, here's my proposal then. I suggest that perhaps Sasha, you and Tajo, the two of you go up to that prison and try and flash around that little KCZ badge, right? See if that gets us anywhere. The rest of us hang back. Bracklor and I can't be seen anyway in this grass. So, Ishka, you'll just have to, slum it down with us little folk. So they don't see us. If they tell you to hive off and get lost, then at least only 2 of you will be recognized when we have to break in later, whereas the rest of us have not yet been seen by the guards. No? Yes?
Sounds
That's
like
a good
plan.
idea, Vincent. I thought you only cared about socks.
Yes.
To be
Okay.
fair, prisons
Let's
have
do
some
that.
pretty good socks usually.
Yeah, exactly.
Head towards the prison then.
Okay, so you guys set off across the grass plains, just making your way towards it. You get to the prison with no extra encounters. As you're approaching, it's a stout dwarven prison. It's the size of a large building. You can see coming out of the middle of the prison a giant oak tree rising up above the walls of the prison, like right in the middle of it. And as you're approaching the prison, you see in front of the prison what you guys would consider a stereotypical dwarf, and just all up in armor, just like this, just all very tight, very prototypical dwarf standing there. And he's arguing with another dwarf who's dressed in a silk suit, tie. He's sitting there and he's going, and what you hear is from the older dwarf, "What do you want here, you dirt dwarf?" It's like, "This is the place where the stone of the mountains rests, here in this dirt. We have authority here, and you have no authority here." Meanwhile, the other guy is, "Well, I'm the attorney, Shell Sassel. I'm here representing Oakfather of the Kirin Forest, and it's like we're trying to get him out of here. And you guys walk up in the middle of this conversation.
Josh is gonna kind of jog up at that. KCZ, hello, here to mediate anything.
The Grag Ragamus Randar. You see it like printed on his shirt. He goes, Zone Authority. We don't, we Zaps, Zone Authority Police. Is that what you are?
You
Yes.
don't like us.
You're interfering in internal matters of the dwarves here. We are keeping this ent on our authority. He came in, he's caused a ruckus, and we've kept him. Meanwhile, Shell, the dwarf lawyer, is going, well, could you at least show me the what he's been charged with? It's like, what have you charged him with? And he's like, yes, he came in here, he busted through our walls, and he just set up shop right in the middle of the prison. And he came in, so we're not going to let him out. And Shell goes, that makes no sense.
What are you doing so that he doesn't break the walls again?
The Grag goes, these are strong dwarven walls. There's no way an ent can go through them. Shell says, he went through those walls last year. These are strong dwarven walls. There's no way an ent can get through these walls.
May we allow this kind lawyer to speak to his client with an escort?
No. Dwarvish tradition does not allow outsiders to come in.
But we are no outsiders. We're your friends. And he casts friends cantrip on the dwarf.
Ooh. Nice. It's a one-shot. Feel free. Hold on. Let me see. Let me get this guy's stats up here. There we go.
How does it look like it's going, Sasha? Not Sasha, Ishka. Sorry, because we're not there, we're separated.
Right.
There's two little men, and then our people, and they seem to be talking.
The what's the DC on that save from Tajo?
My spell save DC is 12.
I rolled a 1. Okay, so the dwarf says, well, there may be a way for you to come in. I need you to perform. Hold on a second. Oops, sorry here. Okay. What I need you to perform the Iron Foot Circle Dance. Meanwhile, Binson, I need you to make a perception check. And who else is out there? Binson and Ishka, right? And Bracklore.
Yep.
Right. Give me perception checks, you guys.
17.
Okay.
8.
And a 10. Okay. So what you can tell from outside is Binson especially smells mushrooms coming very heavily from this prison. He smells hops going into his nose. Is Binson the kind of gnome that likes beer?
The player is, so Benson does.
It is. It smells like a delightful mushroom beer factory with, what did you get? You got me a 17, right?
17, yeah.
Okay. So basically what we've got here is we've got beers and we've got mushrooms, and they're together, and you can smell it coming right out of that place.
And the mushrooms don't smell anything like the blight that we smelled before, the canker before.
It does.
Oh boy. Does anyone else smell that?
Ishka, did you have to do that? I'm right here.
No, it wasn't me this time.
Don't look at me. No, they're making beer in there, and they're using the same kind of fungi as the canker that we fought those bloody needle things in. I think
Ew.
Tajo's in trouble.
That tastes that good, eh?
Well, they nearly
Beer.
killed him last time with all the spines and the dying in the death. And
You want me to fly over? Maybe I can get a look down and see.
oh, that's not a bad idea. Are they still talking?
So
They're still talking.
the Grag goes, I need at least 4 of you to correctly perform the Iron Foot circle dance, and then I would be able to allow you onto dwarven property.
Is that like your?
It's tradition. I don't break tradition even for friends, pal, elf, buddy.
Taja looks at.
You're a very attractive. You're a very attractive elf. There. Did you know that? Oh, I feel funny. Oh, what's
Tasha looks over at Tajo. Can we just do this my way?
the lawyer is over there. He's like, it's like getting these Grags to crack is something that I hardly ever see. I would recommend, like, just try.
Do
to
you
get
know
in there.
the dance?
He's like, I could kind of maybe lead you through the dance, but I need a few more people for it. It's like, it takes at least 5. We've got, what, 3 here? Do you have, like, 2 other people, maybe? It's it's like...
Vincent!
They're calling us.
So, you guys come in.
Taja looks at Sasha and says, let's try this dance. If it doesn't work, we'll have it your way.
The Grag goes, Tajo, you're gonna do great. You're such a good dancer. I can see it in your bones and you're like in your form. It's so willowy. You look like fine marble there.
If we do a dance, we can get in.
A dance? You want us to do a dance?
Yes.
Bracklore, give me an investigation check as you're going over the walls of the prison while this other scene is happening.
It is a 18.
18. Okay. You see a gigantic oak tree with a face on it standing in the middle of the courtyard. It's got its roots dug down deep into the ground, but coming up from the roots, you see fungus wrapped around its roots too. Just kind of like 2 hands holding each other.
Okay. So it's open air. I could fly down if I wanted.
It is
to. Do I
open
see-
air. There's other dwarves around. Do you have like a... I will say that everyone is so amused by what's happening out in front that all the guards have like gone up to the front of the wall and they're looking it down and going, are these people going to try to do the Iron Foot circle dance? Really? I really want to see this. Okay.
Brackler will dive down into the foliage of the great oak and kind of get to make his way, scuttle his way to the face and see if it's awake or is willing to talk.
Yes. As you climb up towards it, you see an eye open. Whom? Little one.
All right, be quiet, be quiet, quiet, quiet. Are you prisoner here? Can you get out?
Little one.
We've been
am
sent
not.
by the-
I am not the prisoner here. It is. Okay, let's do the dance thing now. So what we're gonna do is I need you guys to beat a DC 10 performance check, and I need 3 of you to beat it at least to get into the prison. I'm gonna roll for the lawyer. Tajo has advantage because the judge is also his best friend in the world. Shell says, okay, guys, so this is how you do the dance. What you do is you put one foot in front of the other, and then you falls on the ground. He says,
I threw myself onto the ground.
No, not like that. Give me... I need the other guys to give me your performance checks, please.
Yeah, Taja got an 18.
Nice.
14
1.
for Sasha.
2.
7 for Binson.
Ishka.
16.
You gotta come through. 16! Congratulations. Even though the person teaching you the dance fell on his butt on the ground, you guys do the Iron Foot circle dance. You do some stomping, and you get into the dance, and the Grag is just like, that's the best non-dwarf performance that I've ever seen. Shell's like, you're doing great, guys, from the ground. And he says, I will allow you to come in and have an audience with the oak interloper, if you will. And gods, open the door. The door is open. As you start entering into the prison of the Thane.
Sasha, you certainly look like you've been dancing all your life.
That's not something I like to talk about.
Right.
Bracklor, the Oak Father says to you, little one, I am here protecting another. The one, whoops, am I still? Okay. The one who I am intertwined with here.
So you don't want to leave. Listen, your
like
aunts are out there looking for you, and they want you back.
I understand. So, you got the messages I've been sending. It only took a year, no time at all. Very good.
Right.
He goes, the blights are the symbol of the love between myself and the Myconid mother, whose roots tangle with mine.
Right, love story. I'm on the same page. Go on.
They are symbols of our anger, but if she could be free, they could be symbols of our joy.
Do you want us to free the queen?
Squid, the Myconid mother, the fungus female who has entangled her roots with mine. We must free her.
Right.
I answered her call a year ago, and now I stand protecting her. As they harvest her, you can't imagine the screams.
Yeah, might. All right.
As you're saying that, your compatriots, the other members of your troop, come in towards you.
Let me confer with my colleagues there, and we'll get right back to you, okay? And I, from the tree, I kind of swoop down real quick and land on Ishka, kind of nuzzle into the backpack.
Well, what'd you find?
It looks like the Oak Father is in fact protecting a fungus queen, something like that, and he wants us to free the fungus.
So where is the nasty mushroom thing coming from?
Apparently, right below him. See all those things coming up, and he's going down. It's actually kind of beautiful. I kind of quite like it.
So the source is below him. I say we go and destroy the source.
I don't think that's what he wants. I think he wants the dwarves to stop harvesting the source. I think
they're harvesting her to make beer. That's
which you know, dwarves I can understand. But it sounds like if we release her, then maybe the ents will be, get their father back, and everything will go back to normal, except for the dwarves. Not sure how we're going to do this.
How close is that Grag to the party right now?
Oh, the Grag is right on Tajo. He's like, oh, yes. So what I'm going to tell you is this is where we get the necessaries to brew our finest beer. What we do is we make psychic beer from these mushrooms. And what we do is we get the mushrooms, we get the finest hops, and then we just put them together and we brew them, and then you get psychic beer with them. Would you like some psychic beer, Tajo?
Sure. Where are you getting it from? Or can you take us to the factory?
Oh you're standing in the factory. It's like, it's a prison and a brewery. It's like, what else are you going to do with prisoners but make them work?
You enslave them? Or are they like...
They're prisoners. What else are they going to do? It's like they can pound rocks or they can make beer.
But do they get any compensation?
Sure, they get beer.
Seems fair. And is it, do you have any, is there anything underground? Like, storage?
I don't know. This big ant rolled in here and he just took up root here, and then he's just been standing there all this time and he won't talk to us. So whatever. It's just we can kind of get to the mushrooms that are coming up around his roots. We get those and we make beer with them.
Well, maybe if you let us talk to him when you're not here, we can, find out why he's here. If you go over there.
I'm not going anywhere without my friend Tajo. What's the duration on friends, Tajo?
That would be concentration up to 1 minute.
Oh, you are coming to the end of it as you're okay. As you're sitting there, the Grag is going,
I hit him in the back of his head.
There's a bunch of guards around. Are you
all right. No, I thought he was alone with us. So no. If there are other people, then
you're in the courtyard. It's a busy prison.
Okay.
There's like other guards around. There's like dozens of them, and he's like starting to come to. He's going,
Go find out how exactly we free this thing.
I look back at everyone, and I go a little behind Greg, and I look at everyone, and I point like signaling that this guy is snapping out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Bracklor. How do we get the release the thing, the fungi, the fungi?
I don't know. I was hoping fungi. I like that. That's good. I was hoping you lot might have an idea. Let me try to take care of this guard, and I'll cast Charm Person. Wisdom saving throw of 12.
On the Grag? Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
The one we're interacting with.
Sure. Oh, this poor mind warped guy. Hold on. 12, you say?
Yes.
He goes, Gods!
Uh-oh.
Gods! Get in here, gods! You hear like stomping of feet coming. Doop, 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 doop,
Well, that didn't work.
Is there like a stairway into the underground or something like that to reach to whatever thing is down there?
There is not. As you say that, the Oak Father pulls up out of the ground. He goes, and he pronounces in his deep voice, "Enough! You shall no longer keep my love imprisoned here." And then he stands up.
If I was a dwarf, I'd start running.
He starts swinging around, and then his like roots start untangling from the myconid mother, and you see like this very delicate mushroom down underneath, just kind of like starting to like shrink in the sunlight.
That can't be good for it.
It's like anywhere that the Oak Father's like foliage is not, it's like the myconid mother is starting to get hurt. And then he says, "I will keep the dwarves off them. Get her out of here."
I will take my bedroll to kind of block the sun.
Okay. As you're doing that, she starts to shrink down, and she's like starting to like come down into like a more smaller form. As she's doing that, she goes, I can't. No, I'm having a reaction. It's like, and you feel, and you're hearing this as a voice, as spores release out of the air.
Oh,
and
God.
then they like go into you guys. And as you do that, you hear a female voice in your head go, I welcome you for your help, but there are parts of me that will fight you. I need you to. As she starts shrinking down into like something that can fit into one of your packs. And as she's doing that, she's like, but there are parts of me that don't want to go. There are parts of me that the Grags have under their control. And then she shrinks down into a small, cute little mushroom. Think like from Mario Brothers. And as she does that, the other parts of her that didn't shrink down erupt out of the earth as the Grag is keeping off the other dwarves. You guys have another encounter to run. Here we go. The small, evil parts of the Myconid Mother start erupting out of the ground, and they attack. Okay. I need initiative rolls. And let's see.
Nice. I got a 21. 21 for Tajo.
21 for Tajo.
19 for Sasha.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
19.
19 for Sasha.
12 for Bracklor.
Sasha, let's see. Okay. And then Bracklor got a what?
12.
12 from Bracklor.
11 for Benson.
Benson got an 11.
And Ishka is a 13.
Ishka. Okay. So 21's Tajo.
Whose backpack has this queen crawled into?
We haven't put her in one yet, I don't think.
Yes. So what we're gonna do is okay. You guys go first. Tajo, it's your turn.
All right. So Tajo is gonna rush in towards the small Myconid Mother or whatever, and grab it, put her in a sack or whatever backpack he has, and do I still have an action to take?
Yeah, we'll call that your bonus action, and you have an action.
All right, then he will disengage and try to run out, screaming like, "Let's get out of here!"
Okay. We have. Is he running through the other Myconids? The bad Myconids?
How many Myconids are there, and how?
There are four
big...
little ones, or 1, 2, 3. There are 3 little ones and 1 big one. And the little ones are like the size of the Myconid Mother once she's shrunk down, and then the other one is like a human size. It's like that needle blight.
Yeah, he will simply disengage and run from there to try to get out of the prison.
Okay,
if
you get
can.
you get halfway to the walls.
All right.
Okay, this wall. Okay, I need Sasha.
I'm gonna go after the big one.
Okay, do it.
21 to hit.
That is a hit.
8 points of slashing damage.
8. Okay.
And then that's my turn. I'll stay in its face.
Okay. Next we've got Ishka.
Okay, what's the closest one towards Tajo?
The closest one towards Tajo, we've got a little sprout.
I will protect the mushroom! I'm going to whip up my great axe and try to slice through it.
Do it.
14.
14 is a hit.
All right. That is a 6.
6. Huh. You blooded it. It is almost down. Okay. Next I have Benson.
Right. So Tajo is running. Is there anyone trying to intercept Tajo at all?
There are dwarves that are trying to, but it's the sprouts that you have to deal with right now. They are too freaked out by Oakfather.
All right. In which case, then I will attack any sprite that I think is going towards Tajo or could or possibly interfere with Tajo's flight.
That would be the one that Ishka just hit.
All right. In which case, on guard, you little stick thing.
It's a little fungus. It's a little fungi.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a botanist. And then I stab it in the face. I hit an armor class of 12.
That is a hit.
Yay. Does it count as being engaged with an ally?
Yes, it does, actually.
Right. So that would be 8 damage.
It disintegrates beneath your poke. Boom.
Ha! Fun dead.
All right. Who have I got here? I've got Bracklor.
Right. Since I was on Ishka's back, I'm kind of riding one hand on the back of the collar of the armor, and I'm just kind of riding like a steed. And
Nice.
I cast
You're
Magic
a
Missile.
steed.
Magic Missile, I will send 1 dart to each of the remaining enemies.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They each take 3 damage, force damage.
Okay. 3 force damage. Boom. That
Bracklor
whittles
calls
them
out.
all down, and it bloodies the large one.
Right, protect the
Okay.
mushroom. Let's go. If she grows, maybe I can eat it and grow too.
Okay, so here we go. Sasha is engaged with the big one, so it is going to. Hit you with a spore spray. I need a DC 11 Constitution check.
$18.
All right, you are not stunned for a minute. Here we go. Sprout on. So they are like just arrowing in towards Tajo and the mother. I'm just gonna do their attacks together. Okay, does a 16 hit Tajo?
Just hits, yeah.
Just hits. Okay. You take 1 bludgeoning plus 2 poison damage.
Okay.
You have you don't have resistance to poison, do you? Is it?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. And then the other one definitely hits you too for another 3. I notice a pattern here. Tajo, you feel like just little bits of poison running through your veins from where they prick you with their sharp little fists, and just you feel it in your blood. How many hit points do you have left?
I lost all the temporary hit points, and I have all my 8 hit points. That
Okay. We
Usually.
are on Tajo's turn. Tajo, go.
Run, Tajo, run!
Yeah, Tacho looks at the Oak Father and says, "Oak Father, I have your missus here. Protect me!" And he keeps running. Is there a clear way out or something? Or are there dwarves?
You see that Shell has like opened up the gate. It's going, get over here. Get over here. This way. Come on
All
over.
right. He will dash towards that direction.
Shell's like, bro, you got to get out of here. Get her out of here. We can get my client out of here too. So you're running out. You get to the door. Okay.
All right.
That is your turn. We've got Sasha.
I'm gonna go for the big guy again.
Do it.
24 to hit.
Ooh, yeah, definitely hits.
8 points of slashing damage.
Okay. So, whoops. Hurt very badly, but not dead. Anything else with your
Run,
turn?
Tajo, run!
There we go. We've got Ishka.
So are there any dwarves going after Tajo? or are they all still focused on the ent?
No, the Oak Father is just causing such a ruckus that they can't even think about you guys right now.
And is the Oak Father look like he's hurting, or is he just plowing through these guys?
The Oak Father is going ham, if you will.
All right, then I'm just gonna get a javelin and I'm gonna chuck it at the one Sasha's fighting.
Okay.
Ooh, 17.
Definitely a hit.
That does 4 piercing.
4 piercing. Okay. That takes down the big myconid, evil mushroom. Okay.
I'm going to use my last action to run towards Tajo as close as I can get.
Okay, you get up right behind him. Okay. That is Ishka. Okay, myconids. Tajo, how many hit points you got left?
8.
Okay, let's see how many of those I can get. 15.
No.
20.
Sure.
3 damage.
Okay.
1 bludgeoning, 2 poison. Tajo, it's your turn.
Tajo gets this. What are these things that are being shot at him? Quills?
No, it's their fists are like nice and spiky. So as their
I
fists
see.
hit you, bang, then there's poison in them.
Yeah, so he says, "You stupid little buggers," and he tries to. I don't think he wants to engage with them. He will disengage. There's one right next to him, right?
Did Vincent and Draclor get to go last round?
Oh, I skipped them. I apologize.
I got confused with the turn order, but
Yep.
that's right.
My turn order is messed up. Okay, Tajo, finish your round, and then Vincent and Breckler are going.
All right. So Tajo will disengage and continue running.
Tajo is about to get out the door. Vincent, your turn.
I hope that Benson's trying to be keeping up with Tajo, trying to clear out the path. So can I attack any of the ones that are near him?
Yes, you can.
Leave him alone. Attack someone your own size, like Ishka or Sasha. So that's an 18 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
Yeah, 5 damage. Die,
Dead.
you little.
Dead.
Yes.
You snap the cap right off of them. Plack! And you just get a release of spores and delicious smelling beer mushroom. And we have Bracklor.
Still riding on Ishka's back, I will cast the firebolt at the last remaining myconid.
Okay.
That is I got a +4, so that's a 15 to hit.
That hits.
That is 10 fire damage. Wow.
Oh! It explodes. Doom! It turns into a delicious mushroom stew right in front of your face.
Nice. You have 10 minutes remaining.
Okay. As you guys make your way to the door, the Oak Father gathers you in his branches.
This
Thank
is new.
you for helping my... Yes. So, the Oak Father is like, comes up, he like gathers you in his branches and busts through the wall. Toom! Breaks through the wall. He says, "Thank you. I will hold them off. Escape. Get the myconid mother to my Kirin forest. I will follow." As he's like holding a retreating action for you as you guys are like getting the heck out of there.
I will pick up Vincent knowing he's a bit slower so he can ride on my shoulders.
Yes.
I wouldn't use the word slower, thank you very much. I would use the word I move at the correct speed for gnome.
Shell is
What
also
did he
making his
say?
way out with you guys. And he's going, "Great job, guys. It's like you made my job super easy."
Is there payment involved?
He's like, "Oh, now I got paid. It's like you guys did this for free, right?" He goes, And as you guys are running, you see the airship coming down towards you. And you see Instructor of Recruits and Sergeant Killflare on the ship go ahead. And the Instructor of Recruits is going, what is happening here? And Sergeant Killflare goes, ha ha! I knew I'd like you guys. You busted through that dwarf wall. That's incredible.
Tajo opens up the bag and releases the myconid mother. And
Sergeant Killflare goes, oh, snacks! Thank you! He picks her up. He's like going like this. He's about to eat her.
No!
Drop it.
Keep her out of the sunlight.
Not a snack? Oh, sorry. Instructor of Recruit says, I believe that is a myconid matriarch. Sergeant Killflare, please put her down. She's as a sentient creature, she's entitled to full citizenship here in the zone. End scene.
Nice. There we go. Well done. Thank you. Alrighty. Yes. Okay, so that brings us a little bit early to a close, but not terribly so. I don't think anyone will hold that against you. We are going to go into the voting shortly, and whilst we are voting, you guys get to watch videos that will explain just how it is that the scoring system is going to be working and what sort of things we would be looking for. So let's kick it off with this video. On the Training Grounds scorecard, story has a lot of sections. The first section to look at is logical narrative. All too often as GMs we try to make complex stories, or at least events that our characters are going to experience. We try and make them convoluted, and it was actually the husband of the milkmaid's wife's brother's daughter's son-in-law's ex-dog owner's father that was the murderer. It can be a little bit too complicated. On the other hand, if it's absolutely mundane and straightforward, that could be a problem too. The bottom line, though, is that whether it's a straightforward story or a convoluted story, does it make sense when you look at it in its totality? The players are not going to know what's going on during the game, but by the time you get to the final moment where the adventure wraps up, it should make sense and not look as if some kind of crazy spider has crawled all over your plot points to try and connect them in random ways. There should be some kind of structure. Whether you put that in the planning phase or whether you make it up as you go along doesn't matter, as long as it makes sense. Oh yes, he did this, then she did that, and then this caused that, and then that caused that. That's what we're looking for when we look for narrative, logical sense-making. Unlike sentence make I for you right now. We get the most interestingly difficult point to prove. Engagement or engaging narrative. Well, what does that mean? How do you make your narrative engaging? Hollywood hasn't figured it out after thousands and thousands of movies and millions of hours of television series. Something either grabs the audience or it doesn't. But as the GM, you can make sure that you're putting in as much effort as you possibly can to make your story engaging. Primarily, it's about making sure the players are asking, I wonder what's going to happen next, as opposed to going, oh my goodness, I know what's going to happen next, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, it's so obvious, it's absolutely boring and banal. That is what we want to avoid. How you actually do that, well, that's part of the mastery of being a great GM. When we look at the Training Ground scorecard, we see that pace is listed as one of the critical elements that will be scored, and pace falls under story. Now, pace is something that is incredibly subjective and very personal. I have many videos where I talk about how to create pace and how to make sure that your game is paced correctly, the 1-to-1 method, the 5-step method, all of those kinds of things. You can find those on the YouTube channel. Now, when we come to looking at pace, as a player, you are much more invested in the game than as an observer. As a player, though, you should never become an observer. If you are becoming an observer, it means that you're out of the game, you're watching what other people are doing. The pace is not fast enough to keep you in the game. It's slowed right down. That's not to say that a slow pace is bad. Sometimes it does happen, and for those quiet, intimate moments around a campfire, the pacing should be slow. However, during combat, the pacing should feel as if it's life or death. It should be paced up. There shouldn't be long pauses. If there are, the question to be asked is, are they coming from your fellow players, which is not the GM's fault to a degree, or is it coming from the GM who's taking so long to make their decision calls, to react, to use their NPCs to set up the scene? Pacing is a two-way street. Players and GMs interchangeably have control over the pace. However, the GM is ultimately always responsible for driving the game forward. And if they're not doing it, well, then maybe they need to score lowly so they can work on improving that score.
Okay.
All right. Well, the spores are in. I can't claim that as my own. Chris suggested that I open it up. Thanks, Chris, for that. I think it's a great joke there. So we have got the spores scores. They are here. Chris, how do you feel you did overall?
I feel pretty good. I definitely, from watching past ones, I'm like, okay, so here's what not to do. Don't end 30 minutes early. Make sure you get a little bit of everything in. And yeah.
Pretty confident then? That's good. That's good.
Feels
you
good.
have
I feel like you guys had fun, so that's all I wanted.
That's really the bottom line. That is the ultimate. Sorry, I've got my pen here. That is the ultimate score sheet. Did everyone have fun? I think everybody had fun. Please remember, if you have questions for Chris or for any of the players, just write the word question in front of your question so that I can see it in chat and then I can pass it along. We've got about 23 minutes until the end of the session, so plenty of time for questions. Okay, so here is the score. If you are sitting at home and you want a bit of excitement, imagine a drum roll in your head starting now. Can you hear it? Is it building? Building in tension? Yes, yes, yes. And climax. Right, there are your scores, and they're pretty good, I would have to say. So rules, yeah, you got some 18s, 17s. Were the rules used appropriately? There was a 14 there in terms of some of those rules maybe not being used appropriately, or perhaps in a way that didn't seem to make sense, perhaps. I think some of the earlier checks that you made us do, I was a bit confused on what successes gave us and didn't sort of give us, I think. I'm just interpreting. I could be completely wrong. So players, if you disagree, jump in and correct me. Story, pretty good stretch of story there. You've got logical narrative coming through strongly. You've got engaging. We definitely felt as if we were in your new world. Or in your world space, I should say. Your pacing was absolutely spot on in terms of a 90-minute role-playing session. You had a lot to get us through, and so you did by the looks of things. Immersion and tone, good. Adaptation twists, you got a 15 there. I think that chat certainly thought that your twist of the myconid and the oak tree intertwining was quite a nice sort of approach to the whole thing, but something for you to look at in the future. Again, 90 minutes is difficult to set up any kind of twist or adaptation to what the players are doing. NPCs, possibly an area to look at. Descriptions, I must admit, I didn't get a lot of descriptions of what things looked like. Some of them were there, but again, not completely. I know time is a factor, and at one point you did rely on these dwarves are typical dwarves, and you sort of described them as being square, but again, you could possibly put some more description in there. Personalities, you got 17, that's good. Logical actions, yep, again, good score. Used correctly, I think you did, absolutely. Kill flare, it was kill flare, right?
Yeah.
And
Sergeant
instructor
Killblair.
of recruits. I think they had
Correct.
great personalities, and I thought that came across really well, and motivated us to do what we needed to do. Impersonations, yep, 19 out of 25. Nothing wrong with that at all. We definitely got a sense of each of the characters. When it comes to style, you've got pretty good scores there. Descriptions, diction, engagement, senses. I think that descriptions and diction, you definitely were throwing in a lot of the senses. So that's where your senses score came from. I sometimes felt a little bit like we weren't getting enough of the situation description kind of happening. There was some confusions here and there. Again, just my projections there. Table management, definitely you could take a leaf out of Hillary's approach to controlling the players. Oftentimes you were asking us for scores, and we were just throwing them out there. At one point, I know that we were all sort of waiting for each other to speak first and then trying to figure out when. So you could possibly say, all right, let me work through the table. What's your score? What's your score? What's your score? What's your score? Equality of time. You did have a split party moment where you were divided between Bracklaw and ourselves, and then between Tajo, Sasha, and the rest of the group. Something to be aware of is to try and bounce between those groups. I did like what you did with the Ent, where you had him about to tell Bracklaw something, and then you jumped away to us. So I think just more of that would work a lot better. And then making sure everyone has equal amounts of time there. Time management, 21 out of 25. You can't be unhappy with that. You played out a scenario where we had encounters in multiple areas. We had conversation with multiple NPCs, and there was a complete story there. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. How do you feel about those scores?
I feel like they're fair. Yeah, I can see definitely where I was leaving out my descriptions, because I was just like, let me just get, oh no, I got to move on. Oh no. But yes, that is a good point about the descriptions and the table management too. So yeah,
Right.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Look, online role playing is also a very different space if it's not something that one is normally accustomed to. If you normally play around the table as well, there is that challenge of everyone talks together, it just becomes noise. Whereas if you've got people around the table, that's a different experience altogether.
I can't hear.
We can hear you. You can't hear us.
Uh-oh. Is that me?
No, maybe you've unplugged
Oh,
something.
there we
yes.
go.
There we go. All right,
I
we can
pulled
hear
on my
you.
cord. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, so let's go to some questions here. Well, here's one that certainly, it made me smile because it's a house rule I use.
Okay.
There's a question, isn't the confirm crit failure a 3.5 edition rule?
It is, and it just felt like the time to do it.
Absolutely.
It just definitely felt like, oh, that's going to happen. Let's just do that for fun and giggles, if you will. And then he got you. And that was the best thing that could have happened at that point.
Absolutely. How did the rest of you feel about that? A double one gets you to have a critical failure where you hit your opponent or something like that. Jalur?
I think it was quite fun. Usually, if you have double one, it's just double one. You've failed miserably at what you're doing. But if there's something else going on as well, it makes it a little more fun, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, moving on to the next question. What was the most unexpected player action this session, Chris?
Oh, unexpected player action.
Was there any unexpected player action?
I actually, when you guys split yourselves, and I hadn't taken that into account a couple of times, and I was like, oh, they're splitting. All right, then let's just roll with it.
Did you have to change anything in terms of your game's direction because of it?
No. Bracklaw going on his own to visit the Oak Father actually let me get all that exposition in before I had planned for it. So I actually liked that he did that, because then I got to go, because that scene would have happened by itself, and probably would have been less interesting than Bracklor going and talking, and then me switching, and then me going, oh, and then, okay, guys, let's have a dance off.
Okay, so I have to ask, that dance off, that was definitely planned, right?
It was, yes, yeah. That was
What
that
inspired
was
you
oh
to do a dance off? Dance off, sorry, let me
um
pronounce it correctly.
I had seen some of the other episodes, and people had done, and I don't remember exactly what they were, but they had like done some of the things that I was thinking of doing, like chase skill checks or things like that. And I'm just like, what do I? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy! You guys are basically going and getting Groot out, and you're fighting Groot. So let's just go full Guardians.
I
Just
like it.
Star-Lord dance off. Here we go. But just to get into prison, not for the fate of the universe at this time.
Yeah, slightly different scales. Rebecca, what did you think of the dance off?
I thought it was hilarious because I'm sitting there going, oh no, I'm not a performer. Oh wait, I'm dexterous. We're fine.
I did do it having pretty sure that no one had any performance skill checks or any of that. I'm just like, we're just gonna do a raw dance off. We're gonna raw dog it. It'll be great.
Next question. What score do you think is higher than you would have scored yourself? Let me remind you of your scores.
Yeah, let me see the scores. Higher.
Yes, what score do you think is higher?
Logical narrative. Because I was definitely not sure that this was logically going to go together. Likely. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, I think it had a certain level to it. Brackler, what are your thoughts?
I think it made sense. We had to go this place, we had to go that place. It made, to use the term railroady, but then it's a 90-minute shot, so
right.
I think it was fine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was definitely trying hard to give you enough options that it wasn't too railroady. So I don't know.
I do feel that there was a moment where the city seemed to me personally to be the space where the Ent might have gone. The prison I didn't take as a potential place for where the Ent would have marched to. But I don't think that was a logically narrative failure on your behalf. I think that's just something that Vincent would have gone off to go and explore.
Right, got it.
And try and figure out, because you've given us this great city to play with. It's like, well, I want to be on that city that's on railroads, right? On tracks there.
Yeah.
So.
If you had gone there, I would have moved everything to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Then, next question is, what was your favorite part of this session?
Was when Bracklor murked all those twig blights. That was great.
Magic missile for the win.
No, the flame breath.
Oh, the flame breath. Right.
I think that's the best I've seen Bracklor played in so far.
That's
it.
That's it. Yeah, lots of damage there. Caleb, what was your favorite moment?
It might sound harsh, but when Tajo almost died. I thought that would be really interesting. And I was going to go defend him and avenge him and everything, but it didn't really play out that way.
Yeah. I was definitely going, oh no, what if I kill a character right in my first fight with twig blights? Oh no. Yeah, but I did still go for you. I didn't let up, but I was a little scared of what would happen. So thank your armor class.
Next question. What areas do you think will be easiest to improve upon, and what areas will be most difficult for you? Good questions.
It'll both. For me to improve upon.
What would you like to improve upon? Let's ask you that.
My descriptions, actually, I would like to improve on. I definitely had it all in my head, and I'm aware that I didn't get all of the things that were in my head out, because it's like still a little nervous. So hopefully next time I'll be a little more polished.
Okay. And to the first part of that question, what do you think would be the easiest to improve in terms of your scores?
I think I can get a good twist in there.
Okay.
I thought my twist of the interweaving roots of the mother Myconid and the Oakfather was a good twist, but I'll see if I can come up with another one.
I think that it was a great story idea, and I think everyone kind of went, "Oh, that's cool. That's different. That's sweet, actually." But yeah, okay, cool. Next question is: do you think you would have an easier time balancing and creating an interesting narrative if the party was higher level? The main idea being a level 5 wizard could take on more than just a level 1 wizard.
Higher level, yes, because I'd be less concerned about killing you with twig blights. In the first encounter, I definitely had the thought I need to get them some more hit points. So I was like, let me just give them aid right off the bat, so that I could just lay into you with an encounter right up front,
Right.
and just stick it. I tweaked the dial right up to medium. Like I had it at hard, and I was like, okay, let's take a needle blight out. 2 needle blights, you guys would have been dead.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Let me go in random order. Caleb, how did you think the combats were?
Pretty good. I know you talked about earlier about the descriptions, and I didn't really know what was happening. That's why I had to ask what the end was happening and the dwarves.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what was going on or like how far something was. But I mean, it's theater of the mind. That's obviously gonna be hard to do in that type of scenario.
Right.
But overall, pretty good.
Yeah. I will say when you guys got there, and I'm like, oh, there are all these guards around. There's 5 first level characters who've already had an encounter, and I've got dozens of guards. They're dead. What am I gonna do? So I was just like, oh, Deus ex ent.
Yeah,
boom,
ex ent, absolutely.
Yep.
Another question: are you streaming anywhere on the internet?
I am not. I've considered it, but it's like job, family, stuff like that. I do have this entire world on World Anvil, so it's there.
Right.
World of Wizards Peak. Yeah.
Just give us that link again, and then they can follow you on Twitter as well. Is that correct?
Yes. Kitoy, Kitoy. And then it's World of Wizards Peak on World Anvil.
World of Wizards Peak. There you go.
Actually, wizardspeak.com. I just got that like a couple of weeks ago.
Wizard Peak. There we go. All right. Hopefully, one of the moderators can put that up into chat for you. Okay. Let's see. Were there any plans that you had to scrap?
Yeah, I've got like pages of notes, and you guys didn't burn through everything. There was the chance, based on how it was going to go, that the Myconid mother and the Oakfather were actually in conflict, but we didn't end up with that way. There's stuff in here that people in my campaign don't need to know, and there's that I didn't inject into this, and then I was trying to give you Shell, the lawyer, as just another person to bounce off of, and I don't think you guys didn't get through all the stuff there. I just used him as we've got 30 minutes. It's time to use him as a crowbar. So that's what I did. Yeah,
right. Absolutely. There are some good questions here. I'm just worried about time here, so I'm just going to ask the ones that I think are more interesting in terms of this whole learning exercise. How much of your dialogue and your descriptions had you pre-written, and how much of it was ad hoc?
Probably half and half. I had like the beginning dialogue set up. I had a bit with the Grag set up, and I had a little bit with the Oakfather set up. But the Myconid mother, I wasn't sure she was going to talk to you guys at all. I was like, so all of that was all on the fly. And then, and getting Instructor of Recruits and Sergeant Killflayer back in at the end, that was not planned. I didn't think you guys would get that far, and I was like, I could have them come in and get them. Good job, guys. Good job.
Nothing wrong with that. Rebecca, what would you have liked more of from this session?
Some chance to like chit chat between players. I know that oftentimes can end up taking like forever when you let it happen. And it's something in 90 minutes you're like, but role play is always my favorite part. So
Yeah.
And it's also very tricky because I think on this stream, and probably it's because of bias because people watch the channel, but everybody's really good at role playing. And there are times where it's like, listen, Jim, just shut up. You've done your job. You've created a great environment, but we want to talk to each other now about our characters because that's why we're here, you know. And you're going, well, actually, the whole point is. So I completely agree. There are times though where you go, okay, players, talk to each other, and it's silence because the players don't role play and don't know what to. So I completely agree with you there, Rebecca. I think yes, it would have been great to be able to have more or a campfire moment. Right?
I was waiting for a lull in the conversation, then I jettisoned you off that airship. Clank.
You got us into the action pretty quickly. What was the biggest hurdle for preparing for this session?
Keeping things as simple as possible and not writing an entire book of things that could happen. Like I had a thought about, let me make these branching paths and these branching paths, and I had to just like no, because I'd seen that happen on other streams where there were like 10 plot lines and then it's just like nothing could get closed off. So I like definitely resisted that urge, which could have easily happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Bracklaw, what would you like to have seen more of?
In agreements with Rebecca. Just a little bit more RP time, but like I say, at 90 minutes, it would have the tendency to just, take up all the time for everything else, and then you're pushed over. So, but I think as it was, just adding a few more descriptions would have filled that 7-minute time that you didn't make.
Right.
Just that little bit, I think you would have been spot on. So.
Yeah, makes sense. Was the Thane or the Dungeon of the Thane as aspect of your story or just flavor? I didn't think you even mentioned the Thane, did you?
I didn't bring the Thane. The Grag ended up being the Thane, is what ended up happening. Is like he kind of took that spot because the Thane wouldn't care about all this happening, but the Grag definitely cared because he was like, he had a side business making beer, psychic beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gillo, what was your favorite moment of the session?
I think that interaction with Greg when he was a friend of Tajo and he was offering beer. I guess those were nice. I would have loved to have interacted with the environment more. It was quite a nice world that you had built up, and I know it's in 90 minutes it's not possible to interact more, but I would have loved that.
I was definitely fighting, like doing lore dumps on you guys because I'm just like, there's just like lore dump. No, don't mention that. Just tons of stuff. Yeah.
So it certainly seems to me that your world that you have created is definitely an interesting one because it sounds like that's pretty much what we were all sort of. I wanted to go to this dwarvish city on the tracks. You've got this interesting forest. This whole KCZ thing, is that part of your world or was that something you developed just for the... So it is. Okay.
Yeah. I came up with it for summer camp at World Anvil last year.
Right. Well, there we go. And summer camp is running already for World Anvil this year as a reminder. That's www.worldanvil.com. You can go and sign up for their World Anvil summer camp where you you answer 31 prompts to build your world. So if you are thinking of building a world, it's an excellent opportunity to go and have a look and do that. Well, folks, we have reached the end of tonight's stream. We will see Chris coming back next week, where I'm joined by new players, and we will see what he has in store for us then. Until next week, all that's left for me to say is that here on How to Be a Great GM, we are celebrating Sci July, Science Fiction Month, here on How to Be a Great GM. So all of the videos for the next month, basically, will be focused around the topic of science fiction. Now, next week's video that launches on Monday is all about creating mini campaigns. So if that's something that you want to try, there are many advantages to doing that. So check out that video as it releases on Monday coming up. And happy Sci July to you. If you haven't played in a science fiction game or anything along those lines, well, why not use the month to do it? Let's see what science fiction can cross your path. Anyway, until next time, from me and all of the moderators, as well as from our wonderful players and GM, happy gaming.